Okay, so we're going to carry on talking about going to the beach and telling stories about what happened and what was happening, maybe with some speech. Now, you've got excellent at talking about the first half of the way it's going to be built. So the first half is the I like and the if sentence, maybe a but, I have to. Let's read this one. Cuando voy a la playa, when I go to the beach, me gusta pasear al perro, I like to walk the dog, y comer un helado. Hopefully the rest of the story is now going to be involving a dog and an ice cream, okay, because that's how stories work. We try and keep it as coherent as possible. Cuando voy a la playa, me gusta pasear al perro y comer un helado. Sobre todo si hace sol, especially if it's sunny. Always nice to have an if sentence. They don't know anything else to say about this for the moment, so they're going to change the subject or say the opposite. Pero cuando llueve, tengo que hacer los deberes. But when it rains, oh, that's why, because they've done the rule of if you say if it is sunny, you do a but if it rains. They went with a when, actually. Pero cuando llueve, tengo que hacer los deberes. When it rains, I have to do my homework. Y hacer una merienda con mi familia. And do a picnic with my family. I'm not sure about that. Spanish is great, but when it rains I have to have a picnic with my family. I suppose it can mean tea as well. Have tea with my family. Prefiero ir de compras con mis amigos en el pueblo. I prefer to go shopping with my friends in town. I'm not entirely sure that really completely fits. Maybe the bit of when it rains I prefer. Okay, so this is good, but you can see that I'm criticising not the Spanish. I'm just thinking about how we can make it more coherent, more of a story. You guys are excellent at that. You're very good at when I go, I like, especially if, I have to, I prefer. Brilliant. Okay, this is quite a good example because you can look at that and go, yeah, great Spanish, just needs tightening up a little bit. The bit that I want next is when it turns into a story about what happened, hopefully involving a dog and an ice cream, because that's where we set out. El fin de semana pasado, and we know this means end of week past, so we'd say last weekend, and there isn't a word for on or at, it's just last weekend. Last weekend, fui a la playa con mis amigos. That's the past of the verb to go, which is on the sheet. Well, I'll show you where in a minute. Fui a la playa con mis amigos. Comía, this is on the sheet. We'll have a look in a minute. This is I was eating un helado. I was eating an ice cream when a dog, cuando un perro robó. This is not on the sheet. This we will have to look at because everything on the sheet is I was eating, I ate. When a dog stole my ice cream, they actually put an ice cream, which would be mi helado, entonces lloré. And this is not on the sheet because we haven't had these disaster words. Because that's where we're aiming, okay? A story that starts with all the stuff you're so good at, and then a thing that carries it on into the past with what was happening and what happened, starting with things on the sheet, and then moving to more disasters like stole, I cried, and also able to do he, she, or it, so you can have something else come along and cause you trouble. So that's where we're headed. Keep this in mind. This you can do, this you're on the way to doing, and it's just making the whole thing flow through that we really want. Okay, I am going to get rid of that. There you are. Here's our sheet. So, let's just do a pop back to what you're so good at. I'm going to make up a story, and you're going to say the Spanish. Here we go. When I go to the... Oh, warn your family you're speaking Spanish, or go somewhere they can't hear you. Ready? When I go to the beach, I love to walk and explore. Oh, and always go down the bottom for a connective, and explore, especially if, down the bottom for your connectives, I can, it must be something about walking the dog because that person said it before. Okay, go for a walk with my family. Oh no, with my dog is on there. With my dog. Okay. Let's do the but if it rains, seeing as we haven't had weather, have we? But if it rains, that's a llueve. I prefer to go home. Brilliant. Okay. Especially if you were speaking Spanish. I suppose some of you were speaking Spanish in your head by reading it. And I don't know what research says about that. I imagine it probably says that the more you get involved in something, the more likely you are to learn. So you can speak Spanish with me. I was going to say you could do it through the medium of modern dance, but some of you probably will, so just leave it out. Right. That, if we look at the one we were just looking at, is this bit. Some of it's the same, some of it's different, lots of the same sort of things. Now we're going to do the story part of what was happening and what happened. So we need to set it in time. So let's say 2 years ago, you can do this. Make sure you say hace, it means it makes. Hace 2 años. Let's go with this. This is the verb to go. Ir. You can see, if you're going to change that into the past or do anything with it, the first thing you do, isn't it? You take off the ER ending, you take off the AR ending, take off the IR, nothing left. So I've given you the past tense here, it's I went. Oh, just to remind you, before we do this bit then, you can stop speaking for a second. These are all AR verbs. Take off the AR and put on I to change nadar into nade. Same with jugué, compré, exploré, dibujé, pesqué, saqué, paseé. That's a good one. Take off the AR. You've still got an E there, paseé. If you want to say what was happening, it's aba. Nadaba, I was swimming. Exploraba, I was exploring. Dibujaba, I was drawing. Then these are ER, and there's some IR in there too. So I ate is comí, I wrote is escribí, I saw is vi. That's actually too short for an accent, it doesn't need one. If you want to say I was eating, it's comía. If it's I was drinking, it's bebía, the same ending. And these ones down here are the ones, like we said before, that they are irregular. So ir goes fui. Iba, we already know for was going, because it's one of our old cheats from when we used to cheat with I decided to, I was going to. That way around, actually, isn't it? I was going to, I decided to. And ife is I did or I made. I made a sandcastle. And hacía, we know from hacía sol, it was sunny. That's the verb to do or to make. It's not really it was making sun. Hacía for I was making sandcastles. Right, let me see if I can remember the bit that I made you say before. Cuando voy a la playa, me gusta pasear y explorar, sobre todo si puedo pasear con mi perro, pero si llueve, prefiero volver a casa. Por ejemplo, hace 2 años, for example, 2 years ago. Right, now you carry on. I went to the beach. Don't say that. That's been changed into this. Fui to the beach, a la playa. It was sunny. So, now before we'd have gone with I decided to or I was going to with our little cheats. They're still good. They're still good. So, I was walking. So you're going to take pasear, and you don't want the one that happened, you want the one for ing. So you're going to put aba on the end of there. Say it. Pase. Hang on, say it again. Pase. Paseaba. Hacía sol y paseaba, that's I was walking with my dog. on the beach and I decided, let's use our cheat just because they are still good. I decided to draw elephants in the sand. Let's go with this when from here, okay? When, just that one word, when, I know you said it, but other people didn't. Cuando, right, we're going to go with was drawing elephants in the sand. This word here, you're going to need to put this ending on. I know I'm frightening you with a h sound. Dibuj, that's it, dibujaba. Cuando, when, cuando dibujaba elefantes en la arena, so the AR has gone and the aba has gone the end. Now, I'm assuming, as well as the dog, there are some people involved. Cuando dibujaba elefantes en la arena, my friend said, mi amigo, he said is this one. This is I said. Write it on if you want. I said. This one is third person. He said, she said, it said. We could have had a talking dog, but we're not. My friend, who I previously forgot to mention, which is a bit of an omission, but never mind. My friend said, mi amigo dijo, not mis amigos, you've only got one friend. You're lucky to have that, you only had a dog a minute ago. Mi amigo dijo, I want, oh, this is the one where I want is missing. Remember I had to put it on last lesson. I would like, because he's a very polite friend, but there it is. Can you say it with the accent on there, please? Everyone tries to go me gustaría. No, me gustaría, to go, just steal it from there, not the whole thing. Mi amigo dijo, me gustaría ir a, what would he like to go and do? Play on the arcades. Jugar en las maquinitas. Don't know why I'm doing it for you. My friend said I would like to go and play on the arcades. Next word's got to be so. Entonces I went, fui, and I played. That says to play. What do you need on the end? Nade is I swam, so chop off the AR. Jugué. I went, fui, y jugué. I went and I played with my friend, make him singular, con mi amigo. You can make it feminine, con mi amiga, en las maquinitas. Okay? And then you can do, what were we doing? We were drawing elephants, weren't we? So, espero, I hope, why am I doing it for you? You can do it. I hope to draw elephants on the sand. And we need a word for afterwards or something like that that we don't have yet because we're only just starting this. Next weekend. That's weekend. And then you can steal this word for next from next year down here. El fin de semana próximo. Lovely. Okay. That is meant to be revision from what we did last time, but actually it's quite a lot just by itself, isn't it? So I'm going to do the next thing with you. I wish that hadn't happened. No, there. Good. What I'm trying to get is enough to write in. Because what I want to do is move us on. And I think we are ready. I'll tell you what, we are ready to do it together. So, these words don't quite work to make a story because there's not enough exciting things to happen. We need some things to happen that are going to be painful or dangerous because a story involves jeopardy and things going wrong. So, we saw in the story we looked at, that person had the verb llorar, to cry. Whether it's I cried or he cried or we cried, we'll have to see. At the moment, we've only got I on this sheet, haven't we? Nade, I swam, or any AR verb would go I. Was ing with abba. ER and IR verbs with I for what happened, or ia for what was happening, and then irregular, I went and I did. So, I have got a handy verb table hiding behind here. There, look. So there's our present, o, as, a, amos, ais, an, ER verbs, o, es, emos, eis, en, IR, o, es, imos, is, en. That's the present, but look, I can slide this over. I'll show you the whole thing in a minute. This is the preterite for what happened, and you'll notice at the top, it's got I, just like on here, nade, I swam, but you've also got you swam, he, she, it swam. You'll be needing that one for he stole my sandwich. Okay, or whatever we're going to do. Nadamos is useful for we swam. Nadastes, you all swam. Nadaron, they swam. Okay, and then you've got your ER and IR verbs like comi, like we've got it here. I ate, you ate, he, she, it ate, comió. Comimos, comistes, comieron. We ate, you ate, they ate. And then also here is the imperfect for what was happening. You can use it for what used to happen as well, but we're telling stories about what was happening and what happened. So like on your sheet here, let's go back and do AR verbs first, because that's traditional. So, nadaba, I was swimming. Nadaba, nadabas, nadaba, nadabamos. Can't see the S there, it's hiding. Nadabais, nadaban. For I was swimming, you was swimming, he was swimming, we was swimming, you was swimming, they was swimming. And then you can see here for comia, which means I was eating. You also got you, he, she, it, we, you, they. And when I let you see the whole thing, because we'll need it, I've also, because I'm helpful, put the I, you, he, we, you, they down there. I know you know first person, second person, third person, first person plural, second person plural, third person plural. And we did have a little go at o, as, a, amos, ais, an for the present tense, so you remembered with the actions which is which, but I will do everything step by step. Llorar, to cry. Let's try and reproduce the one here. Okay? So we will try and create exactly that, if not better. Llorar is to cry. So it also had in there comer is to eat. And in fact it was eating an ice cream, which is exactly what it says here, isn't it? And then it had the verb to steal, which is robar. I am going to do now the verbs for this bit first, because this bit I know you can do without too much help from me. So, of these, which is the one that is was-ing? I was crying, I was eating, somebody was stealing. It's this one, comer. Because it's I, we can just get it straight off our going to the beach sheet. So we know, for example, that hacía sol is it was sunny. We know that nadaba is I was swimming, but it's not an AR verb, it's an ER verb. Comer, it's actually the one here, comía. I was eating. If you want to check on here, okay, so that is present. That's the one that we did in class. I swim, you, no, o, as, a, amos, ais, an. If I slide it this way a tiny bit, too far, that's what happened. See, it says d at the top. We're going to start our story by saying what was happening. Okay, so you can see for AR verbs it's abba, and for ER and IR verbs it's comía. So I am already going to change this into comía, and I'm going to write down I was eating in case I forget between here and when I actually write it up. Okay, robar is a dog stole my ice cream. This isn't helping us. because we've got I, well, it says robar is an AR verb. Let's look here. So we've got AR verbs, and we've got nade for I swam. So if we wanted to say I stole an ice cream off a dog, don't do that, it's unhygienic, it would be robé. That's not what we need it stole. So here we are. This is lined up for the was-ing. Just in case anyone's in any doubt, I'm going to go all the way back to this column. First person I, second person you, third person he, she, it. So we want third person, that's the third one down, fortunately. And we want this green column that says it's the ud, what happened. I swam, you swam, he, she, it swam. We don't want swam, but can someone please remember o for the ending with an accent? Okay, so I'm going to write robar. I'm going to take off the AR. What ending did you just remember for me? O with an accent. Robo. I'm going to put in there it stole. Then what happened? I cried. So you're going to take the llorar. I'm going to take off the AR, and I'm going to go for this AR ending. So jugar, jugué, nadar, nadé, llorar, lloré. I cried. I'm just going to show you on the verb table in case you don't believe me. Here it is, it's what happened, and I is the first person, nadé. If it was it cried, I don't know if dogs do cry, nado, okay, but it's not. Right, that's what we're building up to. So let's start at the beginning. So I'm going to put you know what that means. Me encanta is I love. Me encanta ir a la playa. I love to go to the beach. We could have a because. We could have a especially if. With if, let's go for the sunny business down here. Especially if it's sunny, and let's go for I can. And our story is going to be about a dog and an ice cream. I don't know if it's your dog or someone else's dog. It's definitely your ice cream. And look, sunny, because when it's sunny, what do? You eat an ice cream. Y puedo comer un helado. I am able to eat an ice cream. Some people think I can to eat an ice cream must be wrong, and they start messing with this. This grid here works. Anything from here, you can stick that on it. Remember we said, what can you do with an infinitive? Put things in front of it. And then another lesson, we said, what can you do with an infinitive? Change the ending. But the stick things in front of it business was fine. I am able to eat an ice cream. I can eat an ice cream. Puedo comer un helado. Do you know, I'm just gonna put that on a new line. So we stay in this little window. Me encanta ir a la playa, sobre todo si hace sol, y puedo comer un helado. Now this is where, if we're a bit more advanced, we'd have words like normally, normalmente. I like to go with my dog. We haven't had an I like yet, have we? We've had an I love. I like to go with my dog. Me gusta ir con mi perro. Let's have a because. I can go for a walk. Well, tell you what, you know how to change this. We just said we learned things that go in front of the infinitive. We did learn how to change things on the end of infinitive. Seeing as I'm doing it with you, let's do it. So, o, as, a, amos, ais, an. You know that. Which one is we? Well, the first three are singular. O, as, a, I, you, he. Then it goes plural. We, you, they. O, as, a, amos. Porque paseamos. That's a good one because you get to leave that E in. You take off the AR. Doesn't mean you take that E out. Porque paseamos. Is it on the beach? En la playa. For now, we only seem to have at the weekend. Okay? We'll have to have things like once, last week, 2 weeks ago, one day, last year. Are we going to put a por ejemplo? I've actually started a new paragraph, so probably not. El fin de semana. Right, I went. This is the verb to go. You can't chop off the IR and then do something. There's nothing left. It's in this box here. Fui. Although, you could make it we went because you have a dog. Would be fuimos. That's no surprise, is it? Because it's just got the we ending on the end. Fin de semana fui a Croma, because that's a nice place to go. El fin de semana fui a Croma con mi perro. And we need to set this up now so that this happened. Okay, so let's go with it was sunny. Y hacía sol. Entonces, sorry, let me do that. I quite like to use our cheat now, so I decided to buy. Is buy on there? Yeah, look, buy a bucket and spade. Entonces, decidí. By the way, decidí ends in I, same as comí. Oh yeah, because it's past tense, decided. I decided to buy, comprar. We're not going to go and buy a bucket and spade. We're going to buy an ice cream, un helado. It means a frozen. If you know our word congealed, that's something that's gone all frozen up. Italian, you know gelato, don't you? Comprar un helado. Entonces decidí comprar un helado. Full stop. I was eating, look, it's right here. I know we've done it up here, but fortunately it's also the model verb on here. Comía mi helado. I just changed that to my ice cream. Do you want when or but? I mean, we would also, could do with that suddenly. Pero mi perro, that's always nice. But my dog, pero mi perro, stole. Someone's going to say, so that means it stole. Yeah, that's because your dog is an it. Okay, my dog stole. You don't even have a word for he in Spanish, do you? Or I. It's all in the ending. Pero mi perro robó mi helado y I cried. Same ending as nadar, nadé, y lloré. Comía mi helado, pero mi perro robó mi helado y lloré. If we knew the word for without, we could do, in future, I'm going to go to the beach without my dog. There's all sorts of things. Okay? Right. Me encanta ir a la playa, sobre todo si hace sol y puedo comer un helado. Me gusta ir con mi perro porque paseamos en la playa. You might have gone with a because I can, or because I prefer, or because, okay? But we're showing off our amos for we. El fin de semana fui a Croma con mi perro y hacía sol, entonces decidí comprar un helado. Comía mi helado, pero mi perro robó mi helado y lloré. My dog stole, it stole, my ice cream and I cried. By the way, there is such a thing as a stole. It's a kind of fur that you wear around your neck if you're a posh lady going to a dance in the evening and it's cold. So I don't want anyone looking up in their dictionary the word stole. You take the word to steal and then you do the verb endings for happened and you find I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. You find the right one. Okay? This is the whole thing of I am teaching you to work with these ingredients, and that's what I want to see you doing. I want to see you producing some tasty Spanish out of the ingredients I've given you. And you would never turn up to Food Tech with something you'd bought in a shop and claim you'd made it yourself. So don't do that in Spanish either. Right. What should we do next? I wonder if it tells me at the top how long we've been going for. Yeah, we've been going for half an hour, so we've got a little while left. I'm going to give you some more verbs. I'm going to give you, here's a nice one. Chapotear is to splash about, to paddle. suppose. I'm going to give you the word for a jellyfish. I'm going to give you the word for to sting. By the way, that won't work with picar, piquer, because that would be I stung. You don't want to put I stung. You're going to need to use our verbs here and do it stung me. What do you do? I suppose there's cry again, which we've got up here. Llorar. Whether that is I cried or I was crying, I don't know now. And then we're going to have, or your friend will wee on your foot. I use a Mexican verb mear. For Spanish people, that's quite rude. So orinar, to urinate. What else? You can see what's going to happen here. To paddle in the waves. I was paddling in the waves. A jellyfish. Oh, tell you another one. It's a good word. Pisar. It does not mean to have a wee. That's this one. Pisar means to stand on. So I stood on a jellyfish. It stung me. I was crying, so my friend weed on my foot. Lovely. Right. Can I get rid of this because it's getting in the way? I know it's beautiful and it's very useful, but hopefully this is all recorded. Cross if it's not. Right. Let's do what we did last time. Verbs first. So, chapotear is to paddle. It's an AR verb, so we're going to make it into was paddling. Okay, is that easy. I was paddling. Una medusa, don't do anything to this, it's a jellyfish. It's not I was jellyfishing, it's just a jellyfish, it's not a verb. Pisar, I stood on a jellyfish. Check, it's an AR verb, it's like this. Nadar goes nade, pisar goes pisser. Let's do that there. Again, when we really get into this, we'll need things like suddenly or unfortunately. You know unfortunately, it's in the back of your books. Desafortunadamente. Picar. Right. Let's put that bit. We're going to need this, because although we've got I stung on here, we want it stung. For a start, is it an AR verb or an ER? It's an AR verb, picar. So piquer will be I stung. If you're into stinging jellyfish, don't try it. They'll get you back. Picaste, you stung. Picot. That's we stung, you stung, they stung. Picot. So you want, remember that for me, will you? O with an accent. Do you remember from last time? Picot. I think let's go with I was crying this time. I was crying, so my friend weed on my foot. By the way, I haven't got the word for foot for you. The word for foot is pied, as in our word pedestrian. Right. What am I doing? Oh yeah, to cry. So it's an AR verb. We can use this. We can use the abba, nadaba, I was swimming. Yoraba, I was crying. Last time we went with I cried, didn't we? Yore. This time we're going with Yoraba, I was crying. So my friend weed. I'm going to write that. Take off the AR. We need the ending look. Picar is to sting. Pico is he, she, it, stung. Orinar is to wee. He, weed is the same ending. If you don't believe me, we will check. This is the what happened one. Okay, AR verbs, we don't need to look down here at any ERs. I weed, orine, orinaste, orino. Remember that with O with an accent, please. And you can tell by the way you say it. Orino. Right. Okay. Let's go to the beginning. Me encanta ir a la playa, sobre todo si hace sol, porque me encanta. Sorry, let's keep that. Me encanta. Let's say I love to swim in the sea. Nadar en el mar. El fin de semana. Let's go with last weekend pasado. I'm sure we had that somewhere before, didn't we? Past. The end of week past. Last weekend. El fin de semana pasado. I was paddling. I'm looking here, but we've already done it. So I'm just going to copy that. Chapoteaba. Copy that. El fin de semana pasado. Where's it gone? Goodness knows where it's gone. Oh, it's decided to do that. Go away. Thank you. Oh, it has done it. Chapoteaba. Should I put in the waves? En las olas. Cuando. Do you want your unfortunately? Tell you what. It's afortunado. Then you make it feminine. Afortunada. Then you make it unfortunate. So that's fortunate. And then it's unfortunate. And then you put mente on the end for li. Which means actually before we could easily have had normalmente for normally. I like to go to the beach with my dog because it's just normal with mente on. Anyway, me encanta ir a la playa, sobre todo si hace sol, porque me encanta nadar en el mar. If you haven't had time to look over here and work out what that means and you haven't quite remembered it yet, or probably more likely you do know what it means but you lack confidence in just being, oh yeah, I can do this, and you would like someone to help you, well, I love to go to the beach, especially if it is sunny, because I love to swim in the sea. See? It's exactly what you thought it was. Just be more brave. El fin de semana pasado, last weekend, I was paddling, chapoteaba, en las olas, cuando desafortunadamente I stood on a jellyfish. There you go. Pisé. I don't know why the spell checker did that. Utterly uncalled for. Una. People love this. Una medusa, like a medusa, is the word for jellyfish. By the way, there's no word for on in here because pisar means to stand on. Pisé una medusa. Y it stung me. Well, the pico is it stung with that accent on the O. Where do you think the me is going to go? You know where me goes. It goes in front. Y me picó. It stung me. What happened? I was crying. Lloraba. You know, we said about the y on llueve, llovía. Well, it's the same on this as well, isn't it? Lloraba. Entonces, mi amigo Jim weed on my foot. And this is this O that you're always remembering for me. You probably remember that more than this one now, don't you? Nadé, I swam. Nadó, he, she, it swam. Orino en mi, you know, me like my pie. Yes. I don't know whether weeing on a jellyfish sting is actually helpful or not. People say it is, and that's the only chance you're going to get to wee on your friend's foot, so you may as well go for it. Me encanta ir a la playa, sobre todo si hace sol, porque me encanta nadar en el mar. El fin de semana pasado chapoteaba en las olas cuando desafortunadamente pisé una medusa y me picó. Lloraba, entonces mi amigo Jim orinó en mi pie. Right. We have been going for 38 minutes, which means it's almost time for us to meet up in Google Meet. So I will stop this now. Next week, you can do one of these on your own. We will do the same thing, some verbs that you will decide which is the was-ing and which is the I did, which is the he, she, it did, and then you write your little I like to go to the beach setup piece at the beginning, and then you say what happened and what was happening. Okay? Excellent. I hope you listen to that very carefully and you've completely got your brain round it. You're going, yes, I can't wait till next week when I can write my own. Okay, good.